Ramadan, 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 Ramadan. सुनो आए रमजान की सातें बढ़ाती है अल्लाह ने नेमतें है ये मग़फ़िरत और रहमत कमा.
Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Alhamdulillah, we are good too. Today's vlog will be everything that I did to host a big iftar party for my friends. It was a party of around 18 to 20 people, including lots of kids. So we were hosting our party on Sunday. So I started my prep on Friday night. I was going to make Channa Chaat. So I wanted to boil the channa and I basically left it to soak overnight with a little bit of baking soda on Friday night. And I had Saturday, which is the day that I did majority of my prep work, and this is the day before the iftar party. So on Saturday morning, after feeding the kids breakfast, I got straight to work. My husband basically took the kids upstairs and I hit the kitchen. I had lots of things to do and I couldn't leave things to the evening as we were actually going to a friend's house later for iftar, so I knew that I would be pretty tired when I came back. I had 2 salan dishes on my menu, which were chicken curry and Qeema. So I started by marinating my chicken. Most of my recipes are very quick and easy because I don't like to use so many different spices and spend too much time in the kitchen, especially if you're fasting and you have a lot of menu items on your list. It's better to have easier recipes that are quick to make. Like here I just added some tandoori masala, some coriander powder, yogurt, ginger garlic paste, and some lemon juice, and I believe that was about it. It was simple and very fast to make, and alhamdulillah it tasted good too. So I make chicken curry a few different ways, and today I decided to roast the chicken first in the oven and then make the salan masala while that is cooking. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm basically putting all the leg pieces into the oven so they can roast just like you make regular tandoori chicken. And then afterwards I started on my Qeema masala as well. So obviously I like to do multiple dishes on the stove to save time. Since it was the weekend, my husband was able to take care of the kids while I was busy in the kitchen. When you're inviting people, especially in Ramadan, the menu should be things that everyone can enjoy and things that will be eaten. So you have to make sure that you cater the menu to things that everyone would like. For example, we had a lot of kids that were also going to be included, so we wanted to add nuggets and fries. Actually, we were planning to make biryani as well, but instead of rice we opted to stick to curries because adults and kids both, they enjoy curries, and I feel like they would eat that more during Ramadan. But yeah, so the day before, this is Saturday, right? And I wanted to make the salans on Saturday, the one day before the event, because it would reduce the workload for me on the actual day of the iftar party. I left the main iftari items to be cooked on the day of, as those are, enjoyed fresh. So as a mom of small kids, you have to manage the workload across multiple days because it's too much work for one person to do all alone in one day. And that's why I wanted to share these tips that I found helpful for myself. And I'm sure that you guys will find it helpful too. Here I'm just making the masala for the chicken curry. So while the chicken is getting roasted in the oven, here's the masala on top. I basically fried my onions, added some home masalas like turmeric, chili powder, coriander powder, curry powder, the basics, salt and black pepper. And then I basically crushed my tomatoes to make a paste, and I added it that way. It just gives the salan a better consistency, I find. For the Qeema masala on the side, I added home spices to the Qeema like salt, coriander powder, turmeric, curry powder, zira, red chili powder, the basics. And I let that fry nicely and then added the tomato paste. So I added tomato paste to both of the salans. And you basically want to let both of the dishes fry until the oil separates. I also added Qeema masala, like the box masala, a little bit, and that gave it a nice flavor. You can see here that slowly the oil is separating and it just gives the perfect look to the masala. So yeah, one thing that I had actually done the night before on Friday was cut up fruits and get snacks ready for the kids because of course all day long they were coming downstairs while I was cooking and they were asking for snacks. So I had it ready and easily accessible for my husband or I, to grab it for them. And I think this saved so much time for me because I wasn't getting distracted all the time. I was just like, there you go, it's over here. So yeah, in the meanwhile, my chicken is roasted in the oven and it's ready to be included in the masala. So this step of roasting the chicken is something that I learned from my ammi. She would do this so that the chicken doesn't get so soft that it breaks into small pieces and like falls off the bone. And you know, like the look of the salan gets ruined. So after using this method, I actually agree. This step ensures that your chicken pieces stay intact and whole without breaking apart, as it sometimes happens when you cook, you know, the chicken directly on the stove. Sometimes it gets too soft in the steam. So yeah, overall it gives your curry like a nice look. Both dishes were complete. I transferred them to aluminum foil trays and I stored them that way because then it's easier to warm it up. I basically put the trays in the oven and I put it on low heat and warm up the dishes in the oven along with all the other iftari items, so that way everything is served nice and warm. But yeah, by this point both of my main course dishes are complete and ready to set aside to cool down. So next I take the channa that I placed in water overnight and I added that to my pressure cooker, added a little bit of water and a little bit of salt. I bring it to a boil first so that it makes this foam on top, and you want to make sure to remove the foam, and then I let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes on medium heat in my pressure cooker, and the channa comes out perfect. It's not too mushy soft and it's not too hard where, you know, it hurts to chew. It's just perfect for chaat. Next on my to-do list was to make dessert, and my plan was to make two sweet dishes. So my first one is kulfi, which is very simple and easy. It takes like less than 5 minutes to put together, and mashallah, this dish is like everybody's favorite. I know that if you make this, there will not be a single person that won't like it, guaranteed. Once I mixed all the ingredients nicely, I added sliced almonds on top for decoration, for the topping, for garnishing. And yeah, before I move on to the next step or my next item on my to-do list, I actually wanted to share some things that I did that made this day so much easier for myself. I wrote down my menu on my planning board on my fridge, as well as like a list of the things that I need to get done on Saturday. Physically writing it down on a paper is just something that helps me personally. You can write it in your phone, whatever is best for you. I think that it's so easy to forget something when you have a long list of dishes if I don't write it down. I also wrote down every single masala and like ingredient that I need, and then I checked my pantry and fridge to make sure that I have all those things, because I didn't want to make any last minute grocery shop runs. It's just gonna waste your energy and time, especially where you're fasting, you know, in Ramadan. But yeah, here I was making a big batch of yogurt because I would be needing it for Channa Chaat and Dahi Baray. I did share in my previous video how I am making homemade yogurt now, so I made that. After this, my list of things to do for Saturday was complete, and we basically got some time to rest and then head out to go to a friend's iftar party. Once I came back, I decided to make my dough for my naan, and this is my foolproof, easy, simple recipe. You basically just take your flour, add some yeast, add some salt if you like, and warm water. Knead it into a soft consistency and let it rest. One last step that I wanted to do before I headed to bed was basically lay out all of my utensils and my serving dishes and basically set up all the decor ahead of time, because this is one step where me personally, I really like to, you know, have all the details, make sure everything is nicely decorated, nicely customized, and this is just something that I enjoy doing. For the decoration, I also wanted to add something a little different and something a little, you know, customized. So I found this letter board on Amazon and I really loved the way it looked. It's actually dual-sided, so you can put these letters on one side and the other side is a different color background, so you can put, you know, have a different look with that. It also came with a bunch of different emojis, which I thought were super cool to add to any type of message that you want to put on, and I really, really liked it. So yeah, it was definitely a great find. I wrote Ramadan Kareem and I added that to the centerpiece, and I thought it just brought the whole look together. So you guys let me know in the comments below if you guys liked it. If you're interested in ordering this, I will definitely have the link below in the description bar, or I will put it in the comments. This is the final look. I love the way it looked and brought everything together, mashallah. Next morning on Sunday, the day of the iftar party, I started by chopping up all of my veggies like cilantro, onions, green chilies, and tomatoes. I made a bowl for Channa Chaat, a bowl for Dahi Baray, and a bowl for, that had some onions and cilantro chopped just for garnishing at the end. So for the Channa Chaat, I cut up onions, tomatoes, cilantros, and green chilies. I added my boiled channa and then I stored it in the fridge like this. So I will add the liquid ingredients like yogurt and imli like later on, closer to iftar time. Then I started on my second dessert, which is going to be milk cake cups. You can definitely buy ready-made cake from the store for this, but I had all of the ingredients and I wanted to make it myself. So I made the cake mix with butter, sugar, eggs, milk, and flour. I will have all of the detailed recipes in the description bar below. I'm just, showing you guys a few of the steps here. The cake in the oven to bake at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. While that was baking, I whipped some whipping cream in my mixer with 2 tablespoons of sugar and transferred it to a piping bag. Along with that, I made my milk mixture, which I'll be pouring over my cake. So the milk mixture is just regular milk, condensed milk, and evaporated milk. So you can adjust the condensed milk quantity to your liking depending on how sweet you want it. That was ready. I put everything to the side and I allowed the cakes to cool. So I also started my Dahi Baray batter. So this is basically, I took about 2 cups of besan, zira, red chili flakes, coriander powder, and some salt. I added a teaspoon of baking powder, and then you mix in water to make it a nice batter. I've always been making Dahi Baray this way with besan, and it's just easy, simple, and quick. The tip I would give is that you should make your batter thinner than this, so that way your barays will come out nice and soft. The cakes had cooled. Now it was time to basically assemble my dessert cups. These are the cups that I'm using, and I laid them all out so that way I can easily fill all of them up simultaneously. I took out my cakes from the pans and I basically cut them into half like this, and then I wanted to cut it into small cubes, and you guys will see how I do that. But basically, if you wanted to make a traditional milk cake and make your life easier, you can literally just transfer this whole cake to your serving dish and poke holes in it with your fork, and then pour the milk mixture that we made all over it. You can decorate it with your whipping cream and garnish with nuts as you like, and you'll be done. But obviously I wanted to give it a different look. I like personally to make like dessert cups, and I thought making milk cake in like individual serving sizes would be so cute and it would look very nice visually. Basically, I like to come up with different ways of presentation, right? And I thought these type of dessert cups just look more appealing visually when you decorate it this way. So yeah, once the cake was cut, I basically added pieces of the cake to each of the cups, and then I will add the milk mixture. I'll put a little bit on top, and then I'll add the whipped cream on top and make a nice decoration.
Ramadan, 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 Ramadan. Suno aayi Ramzan ki saatein बढ़ाती है अल्लाह हाँ नेमतें है ये मग़फ़िरत और रहमत कमा नहीं और किसी माँ की यूं अज़मतें नहीं और किसी माँ की यूं अज़मतें अचानक मुअत्तर फिजा हो गई मुखालिफ हवा दिल रुबा हो गई लगा यूं के रात
This time, half of the day had already passed just by getting, those items together and prepped. It was closer to iftar time, so I decided to fry the iftari items, which were the chicken Qeema rolls and the chicken box patties. So I had prepared these two things in advance and I freezed them before Ramadan started. So this step was pretty easy, and you guys probably saw the prep in my previous video. So I decided to directly place the rolls in an aluminum tray once they were cooked, just so I can store it in the oven to keep it warm. I had originally covered the trays with foil, and I feel like that was a mistake on my end because, when you cover the trays, especially for like crispy items like these rolls, it makes it soft and soggy. So just one advice, do not cover the trays. Leaving it open when you're putting it in the oven, it will leave the crispiness of the rolls. I actually had to end up using my air fryer to, kind of make them crispy again. And it did the trick for the most part. So in the situation where that happens to you guys, where, your fried item gets like soggy or soft and it's supposed to be crispy, the air fryer, 2 minutes in the air fryer, and it does the job like magic. As for the chicken patties, I had frozen them without the breadcrumb layer, so before I could fry them, I coated all of them with egg and then I dipped it in breadcrumbs. Majority of the iftar items were complete by now, so my stress levels had reduced a little bit. As a host, I'm sure you guys know how high stress levels are, and I think in iftar parties, it's on another level because everything has to be ready before Maghrib Azan, and also trying to get it ready a little bit earlier so that everyone can plate their foods too. That part is nerve-wracking, but alhamdulillah, Allah helps and gets everything done. Here I was making naan. I made 10 balls of dough and then I would roll out each one by one, and then once I lay it out on the pan, then I poke holes with a fork and I spray the naan with a little bit of oil. I cook it on the pan for a minute or two until the bottom of the naan gets cooked and has prints, and then transfer to the oven and cook on broil until the top of the naan gets a beautiful golden color. MashaAllah, all the naan came out so beautiful and fluffy, as you guys can see here, just how I like it. I made sure to cut all of them in half for easier distribution, and then I stored it in the hot pot once they cooled down a little bit. So I didn't cover it with a lid right away when they're hot because the steam from the naan causes them to get soggy. Another, issue, the same issue, getting soggy or getting soft. So just something to keep in mind. Let it cool down a little bit and then you can store it in the hot pot. Afterwards, then it was time to make my special drink. So for this iftar party, I was making mint margaritas, and for that you're going to need a lot of mint, some black salt, some sugar, some lemon juice, and Sprite, or in my case I'm using Spritz Up. So you want to blend that all well and then you strain it into a jug. So I actually made a few batches of these from 3 bottles, and then I mixed it all together and stored it in the fridge for it to be nice and cool for iftar. And I wanted to ask, how was Ramzan for all of you guys that are watching my video? How did your Ramzan go? Alhamdulillah, my Ramzan was very good. And, I was super busy with the kids, with my home, with, just trying to make the most out of Ramzan, trying to get as much ibadat in as possible, that I actually put my videos, on hold for a little bit because I just wanted to focus and take all that time in for myself and for spiritual journey, But yeah, I have a lot of content that I have saved up from Ramzan, and inshallah I'm going to share it slowly. But yeah, I do want to hear how your month had gone by and what goals you guys reached. What were some of the goals that you'd place for yourself and whether you reached them? Love to hear from you guys in the comments, so please do comment below and let me know. And here finally we are almost at the end of all of my prep. Remember that chart that I had prepared in the morning by doing all of the cutting work early? Now I only have to add the liquid ingredients ingredients and the masalas. So that's what I'm doing here. It made the whole process simple and quick. I added zira, red chili flakes, salt, amchur powder or mango powder as they call it, black salt, chaat masala, and then the liquid ingredients, which would be, you know, the usual yogurt, imli, and green chutney. And then once you have that combination in, you want to mix that all together and you have a delicious, scrumptious Channa Chaat that I am sure is going to fulfill all of your, you know, Dawat Chaat cravings. I can guarantee, because it just tastes so good. After I finished cooking, I quickly cleaned up the kitchen, and just as a note, I made sure to clean up along the way just so that I don't have like a big pile of dishes to clean up at the end, because that is very stressful. I wanted to share some of the decor that we had put up. I love these hanging golden decorations that I put up over the island. These were my favorite decor out of all. It just looks so nice and brought the Ramadan theme together. I added these star and moon lights over the dining table area, and they gave like the perfect starry Ramadan Eid vibes. By the fireplace, I had these blue and gold like traditional Ramadan cutouts, and it was perfect. We set up our drink station over here on this counter. I had put these drink dispensers for Ruh Afza and Tang, and I set up all of these glasses on these risers that I got, and I love the way that it gave like the character to the station. These glasses were for the mint margaritas that we prepared earlier. And overall, here is the final setup before I took out all of the food and served everything. This is how everything looked before the guests arrived, mashallah. I also just had to give, you know, the dining table a little bit of jazz. I set up all of the plates and cutlery and added these beautiful ivory napkins with these golden napkin holders. I love these the second my eyes laid on them, mashallah.
सुनो आई रमजान की सातें बढ़ाती है अल्लाह हाँ ने नेमतें है ये मग़फ़िरत और रहमत कमा नहीं और किसी माह की यूं अज़मतें नहीं और किसी माह की यूं अज़मतें अचानक मुअत्तर फिजा हो गई मुखालिफ हवा दिलरुबा
Alhamdulillah, finally it was go time. Only half an hour was left before iftar, I believe, at this point, and I was on a mission to have all of the food served ahead of time so everyone can get their plates ready. I warmed up these samosas in the air fryer, and then I basically put them in the oven so that they stay warm. And alhamdulillah, you know, everything was nice and warm. I also put the spring rolls in the air fryer and had those get nice and crispy in the air fryer again. It took about 2 to 3 minutes max, but yeah, at this point, alhamdulillah, my friends also came early and helped me to quickly put everything out. And you know, with the mercy of Allah, alhamdulillah, we were able to serve everything on time, and this is how the final spread looked, It was a full house and everyone was enjoying, mashallah. You know, we spread out a sheet for all the kids to sit down and have dinner together, and it was just an amazing sight. May Allah accept our efforts, and may He continue to put barakah in our home, in our rizq, and in our life. May Allah bless us all with guidance and closeness to Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here is our dessert section, and of course, we can't end the night without chai, right? So alhamdulillah, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I do have a few more Ramzan videos that I have pending, so inshallah we'll try to post those as soon as I can. Stay tuned for the next video, and inshallah I will see you all in the next one. Take care, and Allah Hafiz.